Welcome to the Tech Blog Writer Podcast, your guide to future tech trends and innovation in a language you understand. Now, over to your host, Neil Hughes.
Welcome back to the Tech Blog Writer Podcast. Now, many of you already know that I left corporate land and 20 years in IT to write tech columns and record podcast interviews with tech leaders from all over the world. But there is nothing out of the ordinary in this path that I have taken anymore. In fact, it seems that every day I'm reading more and more about people taking the exact same route. People are running side gigs, so when they get home in the evening from 8 p.m. till midnight, they can test out their own business idea until they reach a point where they have to make a choice between the day job and the side gig. And for me, that way involves so little risk because you already tested out your idea and lived your business and built it to a point where it can be your full-time job. So I wanted to delve into the facts and figures behind the gig economy, behind freelancing. So I invited Connor Gillivan from a company called FreeeUp onto the show today to report on what he is seeing in that digital landscape. So if you have found yourself wondering if the gig freelance economy could be for you, or even wondered how it's impacting business owners and professionals all over the world, you should find today's episode quite insightful. So once again, I invite you to let me beam your ears all the way to Denver, Colorado, so we can speak with Connor Gillivan from FreeeUp. So a massive warm welcome to the show. Can you tell the listeners a little about who you are and what you do?
Yeah, of course. So my name is Connor Gillivan, and today and for the past 3 years, I've been the Chief Marketing Officer of freeup.com. And I'm sure we'll talk a little bit more about it, but in general, we connect business owners with freelancers from around the world so that they can work together. And I really got into the whole freelance and outsourcing industry while I was building my first company. Back in 2009, I was still in college. I met my business partner, and we started selling products on Amazon.com in the United States. And this was around the time that Amazon was growing. They were welcoming new product categories. They were finding a great niche in the moms and dads around the United States who were looking for convenience in terms of shopping over actually going into a physical store. And over the course of about 5 years, I built that business up. We ended up working with over 1,000 suppliers around the United States, and we ended up selling over $25 million with the business and built up a team of over 60 people. So it was a really great experience, and it exposed me and my business partner to hiring freelancers and outsourcing. And we were using websites like Upwork and Fiverr and freelancer.com. We got frustrated with how long it was taking and how we couldn't find reliable people. And that was really the main reason that we decided to start FreeeUp and start working on that entrepreneurial journey.
Wow, it sounds like an incredible experience, but equally a phenomenal achievement as well. I mean, how old were you when you were turning over like that kind of cash $25 million?
We were in our early 20s. So we started the business around 20 years old, and then we ran it for about 5 to 6 years. So yeah, early 20s.
Wow, that's inspirational. Now, one of the big reasons I invited you on the show today was to talk about the gig freelance economy. And because I've walked away from corporate life much like you did, but I'm curious about your experiences. I mean, is that something that is becoming more and more the norm now rather than the exception where everybody just left school, left college and got a job? Do you think are you noticing big changes in that field?
Yeah, I think so. I think there's still a lot of people that are graduating from university and going into the corporate world or, finding a full-time job. But I think over the past 5 years, just with the way the workforce has been moving and then the way that the media is portraying freelancing and the gig economy as well, and the emergence of a lot of websites and applications where people can find freelance work, it is becoming more of a norm and more of an option. I know just from my personal experience, I have some cousins, some friends, still a lot of people that are graduating from college right now, and they're reaching out to me to ask me about the opportunity to start their own freelance business or how they would go about it and how it differs from going into a full-time position. So there is a lot of interest and buzz around it right now, whereas maybe 5-10 years ago, it wasn't as much of an option. It was just go find a full-time job and make that, the beginning of your career.
It really is, and I think it's something that we're both seeing at the moment. We're both seeing these changes. So I've got to ask, how are these changes impacting business owners and equally professionals around the world? And what role is technology playing in that shift, do you think?
Yeah, it's a great question. It definitely has an impact on both of those players.
Yeah.
For business owners, I think it's changing up a little bit of the traditional hiring methods that everyone was used to in the past, 50, 100 years, where you're going out, you're posting jobs, you're interviewing people, you're bringing them into your office, you're figuring out who's going to be the best fit, and then they're an employee of your business that's coming into the office 9 to 5 and working for you. I think this whole idea of the freelance and the gig economy is giving business owners faster access to top talent all around the world, and they can tap into it. They can complement their in-house team by hiring freelancers, and they can bring skill sets into their business for affordable costs that maybe they weren't able to before. So it's definitely helping business owners become more, or giving them more variety in terms of their hiring strategy. And then for the actual professionals, these people that could be going into full-time jobs or are just looking for work, it's giving them more opportunities to work with companies on a freelance basis. So whereas before it may have been harder to get a remote job and allow themselves to work from home or spend more time with their family, now it's becoming an opportunity where they can do it, they can create a full-time income, and they can kind of run their freelance business as they want to. And in terms of the technology that's impacting the space, it really comes down to a lot of the platforms out there that are helping to connect these people, right? So 10, 15, 20 years ago, there weren't that many places online or on your phone that you could go out and look for work, or that you could go out and try to find freelance professionals. And today they're just popping up like crazy. There's a few leaders in the space. I myself run a company that does that. And then every day in the news, you hear of new companies that are looking to connect business owners with a specific type of freelancer.
So I'm curious, do you have any facts or stats that you can share about how it's growing, both in the US and all around the world?
Yeah, definitely. So I really love this space. It's something that interests me, and I keep up to date with the news that's going on a daily basis and try to see what's happening. And just recently, there was a study published that showed about 34% of the U.S. workforce are involved in the freelance and gig economy in some way. And the study also projected that over the next 10 years, they expect that the U.S. workforce will exceed 50% somehow being involved in the freelance and gig economy. So very interesting statistics there. They're really projecting some really fast growth, and it'll be interesting to see how everything adjusts to that. Mm-hmm. And then in terms of, worldwide, there's kind of similar figures out there that are showing growth in different countries. And for myself, I personally have worked with a lot of freelancers from the Philippines, and I had the opportunity to take a trip there this past March and hold a conference for freelancers that were using our marketplace to find new jobs. And I learned a lot about how freelancing is becoming a major option for these people. They're able to move away from the 9-to-5 corporate world and take on a business of their own and start working with clients overseas. So it's definitely impacting economies around the world as well.
Wow, that's phenomenal. And presumably there's going to be a lot of people running side gigs as well alongside their day job. Gary Vaynerchuk always says, you've got to go into the office 9 till 5, but what you're doing 7 till midnight every night. And I think more and more people are subscribing to that, aren't they?
Yeah, agreed. I think it's something that people are interested in. And, if they have the full-time job, they have the security there, but they're interested in eventually going the freelance, the more entrepreneurial route, doing it part-time at first and getting a feel for it and getting yourself set up. That's a great way to go about it so that you're not, throwing all your eggs in one basket, and worst case it fails. You still have the security of the job, but then you can try it out and figure out if it could be something for the future.
Absolutely. So are there any other particularly interesting conversations that you can share with me about the freelancing gig economy there that you've been hearing? Yeah,
definitely. So I've had the opportunity to speak to a number of people that have either worked for larger companies, and when I say larger companies, maybe over $25 million per year, or they're still working within those companies. And I've been able to hear from these conversations that a lot of the hiring managers and the managers within these companies are starting to see and talk about freelancing as an option for specific skill sets of the business. So, a large company may have a marketing department, they may have a social media manager, but maybe then that social media manager could hire a number of freelance professionals that help within each social media channel. And that's a good way for them to spend their money rather than hiring someone full time for each channel. So there's a lot of conversations going on around here about this. And I think that as we go through the next couple of years, we're going to see new strategies for how businesses can complement their teams with freelance talent.
Yeah, because I think a lot of times you need somebody in a corporate environment, you need somebody to perform a particular task, but you don't necessarily need a bum on a seat 365 days of the year for the next 20 years, do you? So I think it's that flexibility just to flex and get that resource in to complete tasks as and when you need them. That's got to be a lot more cost effective and efficient. Yeah,
definitely. And for projects too, maybe you have a short-term couple month project and there's someone with a special expertise you need. They can be really helpful in those types of situations as well.
So how does FreeeUp fit into all this? Can you tell me more about your business and how you're working with other businesses to hire top freelancers and help them grow their business too?
Yeah, of course. So as I was saying in the beginning, we really started FreeeUp after using a lot of the other freelance marketplaces out there. And we kept running into frustrations. So we were using these platforms for 2 to 3 years. We were finding that we ourselves as the business owners were spending so much time posting the jobs, inviting applicants to interviews, doing the interviews, and trying to find the best people, only to run into a lot of turnover. And then we were back to stage one and, we were going through the process again. So we were very frustrated with how that was working, and we wanted to create a different solution for business owners. And so that's what FreeeUp is. We're a little bit different in that we actually interview and vet all freelancers that want to apply to the FreeeUp Marketplace so they can find jobs with clients. And then we only allow the top 1% of those applicants into our network. So business owners who are looking for freelance talent, whether it's to run their digital marketing or build a part of their website or create some sort of content or work on an e-commerce section of their business, they can come to us, they can let us know who they're looking for, and then usually within one business day, we go into our network of pre-vetted freelancers, we find them a match, and we directly introduce them to the business owner so that they can talk to them, hire them, and then use them for their business. So that's how we're really working with business owners to help them grow. We're just trying to take out the time that they would originally spend interviewing and vetting so they can just stay focused on hiring and continuing to grow.
What a fantastic idea. I absolutely love that. When it comes to freelancing, there is a lower end of the market where it's just nothing but people lying and cheating and fighting over little scraps of work. And that's not what it's about, is it? So that's fantastic what you're doing.
Awesome. Thanks.
The clients that come to you, are you finding that they've all got the same problem? Are there any particular trends that you've noticed that they come to you with?
Yeah, there definitely are. So, one of the biggest ones that we find with usually, startup type entrepreneurs and business owners is they'll come to us and they just have way too much work on their plates. They have, hours and hours of work each day and each week, and they're looking to get some of that off their plate and delegate it to freelancers. So it's a very common situation that we run into. Another one is a frustration that we had ourselves was we'll have business owners come to us. They had used other marketplaces. They're frustrated at the time it takes to actually post the jobs and try to find reliable people. So we're a big help to them as well. And then we work with some larger companies who they're in a situation where they've built out a team, but they need more freelance talent to continue to complement what they're doing and how they're growing the business. And so we're very hands-on in the process. So they'll get a point person they can speak with. They can kind of talk to us about their strategy, let us know who they're looking to hire and how quickly they're looking to do it. And then we're there to help them go through the process. So I would say those are three of the most common situations we see with clients that are hiring with us right now.
So what about yourself and indeed FreeeUp? What kind of challenges and equally opportunities are you facing there at the moment?
Yes. So one of the biggest challenges, and it's going to be an ongoing challenge for us, and it's almost an opportunity as well, but we're always working to bring our software experience up to a level equivalent with some of the biggest marketplaces out there. That's something that, really distinguishes them, and they're able to have a great user experience with their customers and with their freelancers. So for the past 3 years, we've been continuing to make upgrades, continuing to make it better. And it's just always a constant challenge for us to continue to grow in that fashion. And then in terms of opportunities, this year in particular, we've started to see business owners in different industries that have found us and are interested in using us for growing their companies. So this year we started working with a lot of digital marketing agencies. We've started working with speakers and authors and even real estate companies who are just looking to take things off their plates. And when we started the business, we were very focused in the e-commerce world, since that's where our background was. And being able to see new types of businesses find use in what we're building is really great, really powerful, and it shows us we can start to move into different verticals as we continue to build the business.
So what's next for yourself and FreeeUp? Is there anything else that you can share with us today, or any predictions around the future of the workforce?
With us and with FreeeUp, we're very committed to it. We really love what we're doing. We're very passionate about the freelance industry, and we're always focused on three main things. The first is creating the best possible customer experience. We're always focused on that, whether it be the software or how we're interacting with clients. We're always looking to find and add new top freelance talent to the marketplace, since that's why people are coming to us. And then the last one is we're just looking to get in front of new communities of entrepreneurs and business owners so we can offer them the service that we're providing. So those are our three big focuses and the big drivers of our business. And then in terms of kind of the predictions for the future of the workforce and where we're heading with freelancing, I think over the next 5 years, we're going to see a major shift from business owners in terms of their mindset and how they think about hiring, how they think about freelancing, how they think about outsourcing. And we're going to see a lot more companies creating strategies to utilize it to actually grow their business as they continue to move forward and adjust to the global economy.
So if we do have any freelancers or equally project managers desperately searching for resources out there, can you just remind anyone listening where they can find you guys online, and also contact a member of your team if they have any questions or just want to carry the conversation on that we started today?
Sure. So you can visit us at freeup.com, and that is with 3 E's, so FREEE up.com. And then if you'd like to get in touch with someone, there's a button right at the top that says schedule a meeting, and it has direct links to my calendar and my business owner's calendar. So we'd be happy to speak with anyone that's listening to the podcast. And then if anyone wants to reach out directly to me, my email is just connor@freeup.com, and I'm happy to answer any questions that anyone has.
Excellent. Well, I think we've both seen the rise of the gig and freelance economy and how it's impacting business owners and professionals around the world, and we've witnessed that firsthand. But hearing your insights around those interesting conversations is so insightful and so valuable, and I'm hoping that everyone listening has found it as valuable as I have. But more than anything, just a big thank you for taking time out in Denver to come and speak with me today.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me as well.
I think there are a lot of really, really interesting conversations around freelancing and the gig economy at the moment. And I love hearing Connor's facts and figures about how it's growing not only in the US, but worldwide. If anyone is listening to this thinking of giving it a try, remember, you don't have to make that big decision right away, and run it as a side gig. And if you say you don't have time or you have kids, what about when the kids have gone to bed? Do you really need to watch another Netflix box set when you get home from work? When maybe you could focus investing that downtime on building something just for you, something that will transform your life and allow you to live and work on your terms. Every single one of us is different, and some will be happier clocking in and out of the office each day, and some will feel incredibly isolated and hate being stuck at home all day too, whereas others will relish that prospect. We are all different, and there is no one-size-fits-all approach. But what I will say is, whatever you want, go for it, make it happen. But I'd love to hear about your freelancing and side gig stories, and maybe you could help inspire someone that is listening on their commute on the other side of the world right now. That is the power of what we're doing right here, right now. This isn't just a podcast where you passive listen on the way to work or walking your dog. You too can record me a little voicemail, send me an email, or even a tweet that I can feature on a future show. And that message could be a light bulb moment for someone somewhere in the world. How cool is that? So, email me at techblogwriter@outlook.com, tweet me at Neil C. Hughes, or pop over to my website, techblogwriter.co.uk, and you'll find a way of recording a virtual voicemail message where you just hit record and record me a message. I'm quite excited on how many of you get back to me on this one, so keep those messages coming in. But it's time for me to go now. So until next time, don't be a stranger.
Thanks for listening to the Tech Blog Writer Podcast. Until next time, remember, technology is best when it brings people together.